A good fan theory about your favourite game is like bacon bits in your milkshake. You're not sure if it's right, or if it's even what the inventor of the milkshake originally had in mind, but it's still mind-blowing. At any rate, the best fan theories offer intriguing new possibilities and let us see the games we love in a twisted new light. Just have a think about these. The fan theories so mind-blowing, we really hope they're true, and beware of mega spoilers for the following games.
Punch it.
Ah, sir. We're disengaged, going for minimum safe distance.
There's no denying that in the Halo series, Master Chief is mostly of benefit to the human race. But sometimes we wonder if, after the invasive Spartan 2 conversion program that turned him into a 7-foot weapon of war, he struggles to relate to normal people. I mean, his best friend is a naked computer lady. We've all met guys like that. This might go some way to explaining the fan theory that Master Chief is accidentally responsible for the deaths of all the Marines in the escape pod that crashes onto Halo in the beginning of the first game.
Right for impact!
Beforehand, on the escaping pod, you see one understandably nervous Marine ask Master Chief if they're going to survive.
We're gonna make it, aren't we, sir? I don't want to die out here.
A simple yes would be more reassuring. Then Cortana invites Chief to buckle up in a safety restraint for the crash landing.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
When you say we, Chief, you mean you, Cortana, and all the other Marines in this escape pod, right? Yeah? Then the escape pod crashes and lo and behold, every single Marine on board has been killed. According to the decidedly dark fan theory, this is because on impact, the unsecured Master Chief and his half-ton of Mjolnir armour was rattling around the cabin like a deadly green pinball. Look, these guys just had time to crawl to the soft, verdant grass of the Halo and gasp a couple of breaths of crisp, clean air before they died of their horrible injuries.
The others, the impact. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do now. Still, it's not like they'd have made it through the events of Halo anyway. The only one to survive the complete destruction of the Halo was some dude called Dustin Echoes.
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just dust and echoes.
This Dustin Echoes guy must be a total badass.
It's dust and echoes.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing you.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what? You remember GLaDOS from Portal? She was the rogue AI, the one who was always throwing shade at your puzzle-solving abilities. She tried to poison you with deadly neurotoxin.
It's your old friend, deadly neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath and hold it.
Oh! Good times. What you should also remember is that GLaDOS's personality originally came from a human being, a woman named Carolyn who worked at Aperture Science as the personal assistant to its founder and CEO, Cave Johnson.
That eager voice you heard is the lovely Carolyn, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
She's the backbone of this facility. Pretty as a postcard, too. Sorry, fellas. She's married. To science.
You might think that the relationship between Portal hero Chell and GLaDOS goes no further than trying to murder each other now and again, but according to a popular fan theory, they're actually mother and daughter. Some versions of this theory go even further and theorize that Cave Johnson was Chell's dad. It is true that as you make your way through Portal 2, it becomes pretty clear that Cave Johnson and Carolyn were very close, and as pretty much the only two other human characters in the series that don't live in the crawl space, Ratman, they're the obvious candidates. We also know that Chell is the daughter of Aperture employees from her Bring Your Daughter to Work Day project you find in Portal 2, in which she's done a project on potatoes. Incidentally, I hope no one needed that potato I found in the kitchen.
My project!
However, Chell's project refers to her dad and Mr. Johnson as two separate people, which would seem to put Cave out of the picture, unless Chell actually is adopted, as GLaDOS is fond of suggesting.
Oh, come on. If it makes you feel any better, they abandoned you at birth. So I very seriously doubt they'd even want to see you.
Whoever the father may be, more evidence offered for GLaDOS being Chell's mother include the turret opera at the end of Portal 2, potentially referring to Chell as Cara Mia, or My Darling in Italian. She even gets a little motherly in her defense of Chell when Wheatley starts having a go.
Look at her, you moron. She's not fat.
I am not a moron!
And in the game's closing song, Carolyn is referred to as being a lot like Chell.
She was a lot like you, maybe not quite as heavy. Now little Carolyn is in here too.
And wouldn't it make sense that Chell was the only test subject left alive if GLaDOS was her mother? I mean, it wouldn't explain why she was always trying to kill Chell after that, but no one said these theories were perfect. Unlike these french fries. Sorry, science.
I will protect the innocent.
Overwatch is a game both rich in lore and light on in-game storytelling. Being first and foremost an online multiplayer game without a single-player story-driven campaign, or 5 seconds in a row when I'm not being shredded by Bastion. But I digress. The point is, it's a game populated by heroes with their own secrets and histories, but we only learn about these through secondary sources, such as tantalising short animations and occasionally subtle hints from in-game voice lines. I think he wants me to die? So, Overwatch doesn't foreground its fiction with in-game cutscenes and whatnot, but that hasn't stopped Overwatch fans from digging into intricate speculation about the relationships between characters, because as the Black Eyed Peas once sang, the whole world is addicted to the drama. Wise words indeed. Among the most popular and not yet discredited fan theories, and also one that I enjoy, is that the father of hovering rocket launcher enthusiast Pharah is former Overwatch golden boy Soldier 76.
These aren't your streets anymore!
We already know Pharah's mum is fellow hero Ana, who, like Soldier 76, was a founding member of Overwatch back before it fell from grace.
You grew up surrounded by heroes. They filled your head with stories of adventure.
Various in-game voice lines hint at goings-on behind the scenes. Like when 76 sees Pharah score a kill and says, "Got your aim from your mom, I see."
Got your aim from your mom, I see.
And whatever the relationship status of Ana and Soldier 76 now, they do get some mildly flirty interaction in their contextual voice lines, in which Ana tells 76 he's still looking good after all these years.
For a man of your years, you're looking pretty good, Jack.
I mean, I don't know how she can tell with the mask. Maybe it's just the cool white hair? Speaking of after all these years, Soldier 76 is canonically about 55 in the time when the game takes place. Ana is about 60 and Pharah is 32, so that at least checks out. There was also one time when Blizzard seemed to officially respond to a commenter with confirmation that 76 is the daddy. But this was later retracted, so somebody said too much, or just a misunderstanding. What's interesting is that although you and I don't know who Pharah's father is, the official word is that Pharah herself does know who it is, it just hasn't been revealed to the players. Which is nice for her in that she's not going to wind up like Luke Skywalker in a fight with a dude who turns out to have been secretly her dad. But what about me, Blizzard? How will I know if my Pharah of young 76 and Ana making out is canon?
Cole Phelps, LAPD. I understand you're a friend of Adrian Black.
Yeah, I know him.
Are you aware that he's missing?
No, I hadn't heard that. Tough break.
Games from developer and publisher Rockstar tend to share a lot of themes. Third-person action, large open-world sandboxes, and reckless driving. Yes, even in Bully.
Do you know what you just did? Do you?
How is that thing even street legal? Fans have uncovered plenty of evidence to suggest that many of Rockstar's games share the same universe as well. Naturally, Red Dead Redemption followed the life of John Marston in 1911, but in LA Noire, set in 1947, you can find John Marston's hat discarded in a garbage can and inspect it to your heart's content. Yeah, it's a hat, Cole. Red Dead also pops up in Grand Theft Auto 5 with this book written by one J. Marston on the bookshelf in Franklin's Swish apartment. Fans reckon it's a book written by Jack Marston, son of John Marston, recounting his perspective on the events of Red Dead Redemption. This would make it a bit like the book Jack is reading towards the end of the game, which is about how
this brave man hunts the man who killed his father.
Just switch some of the names around and this thing writes itself. That's not all though. GTA 5 also contains a reference to Casa City, where the icky reality TV show from Manhunt takes place.
Everyone remembers their first score.
Shit, not me.
Mikey, bro, what was your first bank score?
88. outskirts of Carcer City.
That's approximately 15 years before it canonically turned into a city-sized...
Daddy gave her a pair of diamond miners for her 12th birthday, and after she could walk again, sent her to 15 of the most exclusive boarding schools, all at the same time, and got her a treehouse with servants.
The only minor wrinkle in this otherwise excellent theory is the idea that in this shared universe there are two very similar cities called Los Angeles and Los Santos, and two other very similar cities called New York and Liberty City. It was all a dream? A wizard did it?
The Bioshock series, with its ambiguities, complex themes, and bonkers twists, is practically made to generate fan theories. There's the one about how Booker DeWitt is Andrew Ryan, the one about Lady Comstock being an alternate version of Anna's mother, and the one about how Elizabeth is actually 11 cats in a dress. I came up with that one. I didn't say it was any good. The funnest theory around which to wrap your brain, though, is the theory that Booker DeWitt is Songbird. In Bioshock Infinite, Songbird is a giant mechanical bird that spends most of its time smashing through walls, screeching, and trying to kill you. He's also apparently got a sideline in murdering children.
Drop the children from the sky. When the young ones misbehave, escort children to their grave. Never backtalk, never lie, or he'll drop you from the sky.
Yikes. Songbird isn't all about smashing buildings and dropping children, though. He mostly serves as Elizabeth's jailer, making sure she doesn't escape from her tower, which is probably why he's so miffed when he turns up and she escapes from her tower.
Hurry!
Later in the game, you discover Songbird isn't a robot after all. Like the big daddies from the original Bioshock, Songbird is actually a fusion of human and machine, with an actual person at the core of its whole giant metal bird deal. This fan theory takes that as its starting point and goes on to ask, what if the Songbird was another Booker DeWitt? We've already got two Booker DeWitts running around in this reality, the one we're playing as, and the one known around Columbia as Zachary Hale Comstock with his accelerated aging process. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that there could be a third Booker in Columbia, and if Comstock was trying to create a bond between Elizabeth and her captor, it might make sense for him to go as far as using another version of himself to make Songbird as paternal as possible. And in terms of despicable stuff Comstock's done, it would probably rank somewhere in the middle. We also need to look at the way all three characters die in Bioshock Infinite. Booker drowns in a river. Comstock drowns in a baptismal font.
Stop it!
And Songbird drowns in the depths of the ocean around Rapture after Elizabeth transports him there. Is Booker's death by drowning one of the multi-universe constants that Elizabeth refers to? And if so, does that mean that Songbird is another Booker from another dimension? Maybe it's a Booker who lost his daughter some other way and is brutally protective of her now he's been given another chance, albeit as a massive robot bird. Although I don't know why he's so keen to protect Elizabeth. After all, she's just 11 cats in a dress.
Final Fantasy VIII follows the life of 90s boy band dreamboat Squall Leonhardt over 4 discs of RPG questing. Or does it? You see, many fans of the game are convinced that Squall's life actually ends during the parade right at the end of Disc 1. They are so convinced, they made a website dedicated to the theory, www.squallsdead.com. The theory goes that at the end of the first disc, when the sorceress Edea impales Squall with a giant javelin made of ice and he falls off the parade float, that's not something he'd be able to walk away from. When he wakes up in Disc 2, seemingly uninjured, no one in the game ever mentions what happened at the parade again. Maybe he didn't die at all, but something else really embarrassing happened, and everyone's too polite to mention it. Like, his trousers fell down in front of everyone, and that's his worst fear. And that's why he wears 3 separate belts. Alright, I'll stick to the actual fan theory. Subscribers to this theory argue that after Squall's theoretical death, the game gets comparatively weird, with Squall and Rinoa travelling to space and chatting to talking lions. Although these guys have presumably played a Final Fantasy game before. I mean, in terms of weirdness, this ranks somewhere in the middle. If you are a believer though, all this stuff, plus a seriously strange game ending that appears to be Squall's life flashing before his eyes, suggests that Squall dies at the end of the first disc and the rest of the game are his literal Final Fantasy, which is to say the other 3 discs are Squall's dying dreams played out during his final moments. Which makes for a solid 30 hours of dying dreams. Are we sure he died of ice javelin or just old age?
You remember the Reapers from Mass Effect? Big, evil, talking spaceships? Yeah, you do. Right from the first Mass Effect, we're told one of the ways in which Reapers go about galactic domination is with a kind of insidious mind control called indoctrination. That's how they turn hoverboarding jerk Farrant into their puppet in the first game, even while he still thought he was acting of his own free will.
You don't understand, Shepard. There is a place for organics in the New Order. The Reapers need men and women of action. People like us.
So what if Shepard spent most of Mass Effect 3 being indoctrinated by the Reapers? Now Andy, I hear you cry, that's a ludicrous theory, you handsome idiot, but hear me out. Imagine that right from the off in Game 3, Shepard is subject to the initially subtle brainwashing of Reaper indoctrination in the form of this generic human kid. What if he only looks like a generic human kid, but is, in fact, an indoctrination-induced hallucination designed to manipulate Shepard towards the Reaper's endgame? Shepard encounters the boy early in the game, and at no point does any other character interact with or even acknowledge this kid. After Shepard sees the kid get killed, or thinks that's what he sees, the same kid haunts his guilty dreams. And eventually that same kid is the holographic looking avatar chosen by the big boss AI behind the Reapers, aka the Catalyst.
I was created to bring balance, to be the catalyst for peace between organics and synthetics.
Coincidence? Don't make me laugh, generic human kid, I'm onto you. In this fan theory, towards the end of Mass Effect 3, Shep takes a serious beating on his way to the Citadel.
Armor's wiped out. All forces, retreat!
From this point, the theory goes, the finale is actually Shepard symbolically fighting the final stages of the indoctrination process in his own head.
Synthesis.
And that is?
Add your energy to the crucibles. The chain reaction will combine all synthetic and organic life into a new framework. A new DNA.
The theory goes that in this sequence, Shepard, and therefore the player, is urged by the Reapers and their sneaky mind control to choose the supposedly happy ending of synthesis, in which organic and synthetic life are merged. Which, hello, merging organic and synthetic life is the Reapers' whole deal? Well, isn't that convenient, the Reapers? If the theory holds, then maybe selecting the destroy option is equivalent to saying, no thanks, the Reapers, I know your game, breaking free of indoctrination and, just maybe, waking up in a pile of Earth rubble. Yeah, nice try, the Reapers. What you didn't count on is, as a matter of policy, I don't trust any human children. Yeah, that's right, I've seen The Omen, and The Shining, and Children of the Corn, and Village of the Damned, and The Grudge, and The Ring, and I've played Resident Evil 7.
Alright, listen up. In my defence, I didn't draw this. Andy drew this. Andy drew it. And look, he drew a mask on 76, which he would not have had at the time of this possible canonical making out.
Are there any other videos?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. There are several more videos here on Outside Xbox. You can watch some of them right now up here. And there's also videos from Outside Extra. That's Luke and Ellen down here. And also maybe don't hit the glowing subscribe orb right here, because who knows what might happen.